let's get this started and go over to the Bastion colors. I like the blue color there of the prow on the Imperial Navy. Don't really get to notice much else since really it's the blue that stands out most. Although, I should have a look at the other ones. Yeah, I think it's Coronis that actually has the red prow, which is a little bit confusing because normally it's the background of these sub-factions that give away what the color ultimately looks like. Not in the case with the Imperial Navy, unless there's something wrong or inaccurate there. I couldn't tell you. Nonetheless, stasis bomb, micro-warp jump. Let's get started with the Lance Fleet. Still questioning whether having 4 Armageddons is ideal for the large variety of fleets I could go up against. But we're going to get started nonetheless. See if this goes well. And hopefully I don't run up against Eldari, or at least Corsairs and the Adriani probably. Although with the Adriani nerf, maybe it might not be too bad dealing with their torpedoes. So long as I can dodge them, that's the key thing. Corsairs is a little bit of a different story due to the number of charges they have with their torpedoes. Ooh, Space Marines. This will go really well just due to armor piercing potential I have. Sadly, no armor piercing ammo unless I really want to be bold enough to try and equip that for my Armageddons. Which in all honesty I probably don't want to do because my spurs and torpedoes, buffing them or empowering them is probably better. Although, I'm just trying to think, short burn torpedoes would be, if I'm going to switch to armor piercing in any form, it'd probably be replacing the short burn. If this is a Vanguard fleet, this might be a little bit rough though, at least with my limited amount of frigates anyway. I am really biased towards the short burn, even though it technically may not be the best choice. It honestly depends what I'm up against though, that's the hard part. I'm going to assume maybe strike cruisers and vanguards in all honesty, which justifies the short burn a little bit if I want them to do good damage. Otherwise, I got really convenient 3 points here to kind of force an engagement and protect, which honestly with all these lances I protected much better than my normal Imperial Navy fleet. So I like to think this is a good start. Let me just spread out these 2 frigates I guess. Group 3, Group 4. My opponent's ready, let's get this started. Our first foray... Oh, I probably could have changed upgrades too a little bit. Stasis Bomb would have been pointless here. I was thinking so much off the upgrades and wasn't really considering the potential of... Let me just listen. Oh, I thought I heard something over here. I'm trying to listen... Okay. It's a frigate. That doesn't really mean much yet. And I gotta be cautious about having these frigates sniped. If I want to grab this third point, it's probably going to be with my cruisers. And not so much my frigates, just due to how easily they can get picked off by vanguards. Oh. Well, I guess I don't have to worry about that. It's just a question of what it is we're up against. And I was bad judging the distance before, but we'll try counting.
The enemy has
1,
seized a strategic
2,
area.
3. Oh, there's a bit of length. 4, 5, 6. That was about 6 seconds, so those probably are strike cruisers, maybe? Yeah, there's 4 of them now, one of which for some reason is invisible. And I noticed a bit of latency because I saw the clock go backwards a brief second too, so that was a little bit confusing. It threw me off a bit. Oh, and I forgot my lock on. Not a big issue. Apparently one of these is a battle barge as well.
Aye, Admiral.
Let's just grab these points and be mindful of trouble.
Ship ready.
I think the main plan is to just grab these and protect them and keep the frigates at back some. I'm not going to be able to safely get that third objective, but I can force an engagement really well. Just an oversight not to lock on, which I could change to eventually. The brace for impact was a bit of an overreaction.
You have seized a strategic area. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Let's get moving. Let's get ready to start shooting. So maybe I want my Armageddons over this way, so they can immediately shoot at whatever is trying to grab this point, which they should be relatively close, in all honesty. Because those points were grabbed pretty quickly, and well, if there was a battle barge, then clearly Most of their
You
points is over
seized
here.
a strategic area.
Just gotta get ready to shoot.
Setting course.
Let's get the engagement
We wait
going.
your command. Enemy sighted.
Well, I just want to destroy weapons, ideally. And apparently they're not battle barges. Or at least those ones aren't.
Ship ready.
Oh, so 3 Lance, strike
Understood.
cruisers, and a battle barge. Alright.
All ahead full.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
I don't have the best vision, mind you, but
Coordinates acknowledged.
I should be able to easily deal with boring torpedoes. There's only like one salvo of them.
We serve.
Enemy sighted.
Alright. That was kind of silly, but okay.
Aye, Admiral. Engaging engines.
Now I can maximize my firepower to an extent.
Enemy sighted.
You're just going to steal the point from me, which I am not really fond of, if I were to be so honest.
Execute high energy turn. We wait
So
your
your
command.
prow's gone.
Acquiring new vector.
Now get the prow to ram.
Acknowledged.
I do so much more damage, and ideally, let me hit with torpedoes.
Changing course.
Execute high energy
More
turn.
torpedoes for good measure. Damn promising start.
Boarding teams have crippled the enemy.
Do I got more to spare? I got more to spare, although this is probably the worst ship to use it on.
Boarding teams have crippled
This is going to
the
be a bad
enemy.
Nova camp, but so far we're off to a really good start.
Damage teams begin repairs now.
Oh, I take that back.
Underway.
And I do have heavy prow armor, which is good here.
Setting course.
Brace for impact, make the flagship not very susceptible to
Initiate
damage.
Emergency repairs.
And I have melted torpedoes up in a moment.
Burn retros.
Only thing left otherwise is to just start actually killing these off.
Burn retros.
And board for good measure.
Reserve.
Although, my apocalypse is kind of in the way. But if this burnt a repair, I know how I'm going to get value out of this. God dang it. Outside of ramming my own ship.
Your orders.
So you're going to burn to death. You're on all sorts of fire.
Maximum burn.
Gotta be mindful of the yeah. My flagship's already breaking because of that dang mutiny.
Escort vessel lost.
Oh, never mind. Good thing I held on to that. At first I thought that was on cooldown. Nope, I'm completely wrong.
Ready.
You have accumulated 20
Although flying to the broadside macro weapon is probably not a good idea, but
Heading acknowledged.
I can ram this for good measure and finish off the last of the fan cards. Actually, let's get you camping for good measure.
Aye, Admiral.
Nope, doing a little bit too much damage to myself.
Course engaged.
But this is looking good. This is looking damn good. Can I hit with a Nova can?
Orders have
Not
caused
anymore.
internal
Ooh,
damage.
let's see if this stops them at least. Stops them for these torpedoes. Well, sadly I'm not going to hit with torpedoes. I thought these ones were off
We
cooldown.
serve.
But if you keep running, then I can keep shooting. Thank you for accommodating me.
Course engaged.
You were a true pal. You were a true servant of the Imperium.
We wait your command.
And it's a great way to deal with all the heavy armor this cursed thing has too. Although I'm not gonna have. Oh, you're using the assassin. Okay, that explains the fast mutiny.
Coordinates
Sadly, you use
acknowledged.
like 2 charges of that, so I don't think you're gonna get much more value.
Changing course. Underway.
You know, it would be the ultimate insult if I could hit this thing with torpedoes, but right now, let's just focus on this living.
For the Emperor.
I do have that set to.
Understood.
I thought I had it set. Oh, I'm just wondering why I'm not getting the focus firing I want on this frigate. There, that's more like it.
Engaging engines.
This is pretty much over. I just... Oh, let me actually save the crew. You kind of fixed my mutiny problem there a little bit.
Underway.
So he's all sorts of accommodating me right now. So far, the multiplayer's been really good, at least for 1v1. I haven't played 2v2 enough to really know how to QZR at certain time periods, but it's really good so far. Can be a... I don't know how well, in the last big patch they did, it was supposed to be more strict on the queue, mind you. And sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it doesn't, and I'm still getting what seems like random matchmaking, so I don't know what to expect there. As far as the intention to make the matchmaking a little more competitive anyway. Otherwise, let's make them scared. I got combustion gauge on everything. You can't get out of the gas cloud without me knowing it. This is over.
Your orders?
And your shield disruptor doesn't do much. Ooh, your weapons are broken too. You only got like the bomber cannons to help you out.
50% of strategic points.
Yes, fly into vision for me.
Heading acknowledged.
One more for good measure, although I used all your combustion gauge. It's a big miss. Someone's definitely scared.
Impossible, Admiral.
This is not going to go well for you if this... I can almost promise it now. And also... Oh, engines had to get destroyed? Oh my god, I seriously put myself in the final troop stance. And that caused my engines to get destroyed. I literally caused myself the... I want to boost up the combustion gauge and I just killed the engines as a result of that. That's a little bit funny.
We serve.
But the end is nigh. There's not much you can do about it. Just be thankful I can't end it mercilessly with your torpedoes, since they're still on cooldown.
75% of strategic points.
Favorite race? I really like the Nova Cans of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm really biased towards the Eldari just because of the involvement with them. So it's hard to say a true favorite just because I'm playing all the different factions and haven't invested enough time in one to actually get good at it. Or at least, get it refined, I suppose. If I had to pick a favorite fleet, though, I want to say my Tyranid fleet with the Strangle Tentacles is my favorite. Just with the limited amount of play I've had with it, mind you. But as far as faction, I want to love the Adeptus Mechanicus. Again, I have yet to play enough of them, as may apparent by the fact that I've yet to get this to level 10. And I don't know how much of my ranking was from 2v2, and how much I actually played 1v1 with the Adeptus Mechanicus, since I hardly played them at all since the patch last week. If I were to be honest, at least. But otherwise, let's have a look at this fleet. Since I had put no real thought into how I want to organize this to control it better, in all honesty. But I got 4 battle cruisers now, so that will help with the synapse a little bit. I kind of would have liked more frigates though. Those Krakens seem really damn effective, at least against macro cans and just anything that can't really pierce through the armor, mind you. And I've been doing a bad job, I think, with the last time I played Tyranids with using my actual skills. Which Psychic Scream could be good since it synergizes well with the boarding. Since the boarding does a lot of morale damage. But Chemionic Skin, without a doubt, and Synaptic Relay. I'm kind of stuck with these 2 upgrades mostly. Depending on the faction, maybe I could get away with the Chemionic Skin, or even the map layout. Again, haven't really played enough with this fleet to really refine and figure it out. Yeah, the Mechanicus still has really damn good firepower, it's just the crew that's weak, and they don't have torpedoes. And interestingly enough, I always assumed... Well, I assumed the minimum range of the Novacans was like 9,000 units. Nope, it's 4,500, so you can still use those relatively well in the close range brawls. It's just hard to focus them together to hit the ship you want, but after the strafing runs on each other, that's a good time to try and slow them down or wait until their engines are crippled, and if you can get some distance, that ship is primed for a nice Novacan salvo. Since with the engines down, they can't evade it very well. But again, they're probably, aside for maybe Space Marines, they're the least I played in the recent few days, or weeks at least. And I consider the Drukhari and all of them kind of similar. The only difference with the Azuriani, or Eldari rather, is just their trait, which is the Hollow Field and Shadow Field basically. So one is glass cannon, the other 2 are pretty damn durable. arguably very resilient in some situations. And we're playing Protector Fleet. I kind of was hoping this was a Merchant Fleet, if I were to be honest. Weaker crew is always nice. But it is what it is. Just gotta be very mindful of those Seeker missiles. Oh god, we lost the color of my entire fleet. We truly are a ghost in the void. Only reason you could tell they're Tyranid ships is by the silhouettes in the background. I wonder what happened there in all honesty. But as far as controlling this fleet, I think... Let's see, I have 7 frigates. I think what I have in mind... I gotta keep my... How many vanguards or vanguards do I have? Yeah, 3. So we go 1 of each, I think, arguably, is what I'm thinking. Just gonna be a mess, because I might have to rebuild my fleet to make this auto-deployment a little more convenient for me. Group 1. Group 2. We're just gonna have them separated a little bit. Maybe have a battle cruiser with each of these. At least it spreads out the ship some. I don't know how useful it's gonna be. I still need to figure out how to best control this fleet. The texture budget, yeah. Could be another bug of some kind. But yeah, I am really eagerly looking forward to when I can focus on the Tyranid fleet, so maybe I can figure out how I want this formation to be. It's not so much on it working better, it's just so I can control it better in all honesty. Since it has been a bit of a mess. And the flagship Group 4 should probably just hang back and be like a second wave to whatever's getting attacked. And just remember, reload on everything. Let's get this going. Oh, I don't want you going there, but gotta remember, we're playing Tau. And I gotta remember not to try rushing with my clicking there. Since when it goes really narrow like that, it's probably because I'm moving the mouse as I'm clicking. Which is a mild inconvenience, but one that I can actually deal with. And I gotta remember, I have tons of fighters. So I could potentially brute force their squadrons. And since they're not in the middle of a gas cloud, this warrants it some. The idea is to kill off their fighters so that way the Manta Bombers should be a little bit easier to deal with. And their Seeker missiles, ideally. That's what I'm going to be going for. But otherwise, how aggressive I want to be. If they have a Custodian... Nope, I saw 1 Protector. What am I seeing here? A Custodian and 3 Protectors, I want to say. I just wish I was paying attention when they launched them, because it shows the silhouettes. Pyre Acid build could be one. I just only played it in 2v2, mind you, to know. So I couldn't tell you its practicality. It's been really fun using the Pyre Acid type fleet. Basically what that does is every time you get a critical hit, it causes an additional fire assault. But otherwise, not really. Since every other weapon just straight ignores shields. The Bioplasma, which is the only other real weapon Tyranids have, ignores shields, which are only used to help slowly get some critical hits and weaken them down some, ideally. Nope, I didn't want to launch fighters there. But we got I got enough fighters to maybe kill this off. I just gotta remember, dang it, I keep forgetting I'm not using my spore clouds the best. But if I can kill off their fighters, then I'm pretty certain I clicked that badly. And by badly, it means I didn't select the actual Custodian.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Yep. Are you stuck? Oh, you're burning retros. That's kind of why. Alright. And again, another problem is not having auto... Not having hotkeys for these tentacles is a real pain in the ass, too. If I were to be so honest. You could shoot me there. I have gas clouds to hide in. And we're about to reveal this one. Oh yeah, I have also the pulse, the scanner pulse. This is my biggest complaint though, not having hotkeys for these tentacles, ideally. So that's one down. Can we kill that? Well, that's actually going to melt to the shields, ideally. And just keep launching fighters. Actually, he's actually making it really easy for me. Let's just go in kamikaze. Oops, I forgot. You were group 3 there. Did I mess up that control there? I think I may have messed up the controls. Nonetheless, let's get in there. Stop burning retros. Yeah, that's part of the problem there. It's hard to really realize what is burning retros or not. And I still have shields, so I can eat up a good amount of these. Let me just board, and ideally not board everything on one target. That's the... Ooh, and the Custodian has no point defense. So board the hell out of that thing, without a doubt. This is going to be a little anticlimactic, but I'm willing to oblige them. Actually, let's kill off their dang... Yeah, that's my biggest complaint with this fleet probably, is the fact my tentacles don't actually have a hotkey and I can't bind a hotkey for so many ships. Yeah, this is not going to be very exciting, because I could just brute force this some. Actually, can I regenerate? No. Can't regenerate shields. Oh, and I also forgot I can reuse my rush. I have an ability for that too. This goes to show how little I've been playing with the Tyranid fleets. I've been forgetting all their abilities they got from the patch. And once my shields recharge, I'm just going to eat through all their health. Probably not as exciting as it could be, alas, but let's not get complacent. My objectives are still being stolen from behind, mind you.
You have accumulated 25%.
So I don't know if I like this group setup. Since I don't have an easy way to launch all my fighters is part of the problem there, but I don't want all my fighters to be grouped up either.
25% strategic points. The
Yeah,
enemy has seized
well, my
a
opponent wasn't
strategic
AFK,
area.
but... that was not exciting enough. I want to do another match. That is not a demonstration of what I want. It's something I hope they fix anyway. As to why, I don't know exactly. The only individual abilities that actually got hotkeys, which is kind of funny considering the Tyranids are part of the campaign, are the 3 torpedoes you get for the Imperium. Seeker missiles don't have their own separate hotkey. Let's see. What else is there? Of course, I already talked about Novacans not having a hotkey, which is kind of odd, so hopefully that's something they can correct pretty soon. Since there is easily room to throw this on here, hell, even just allowing the ability for me to set the priorities on what Ooh, let me try again. If they could just make the F1s... Where's the keys I'm looking for? Okay, there. Shift 1 to Shift 4. If they could just make this, when I target an enemy ship, the keys to kind of set critical priorities, like their deck, their engine, all that, this would make life a lot easier, because even that's not set to a hotkey anywhere. And this is essentially the same, in the same area. This allows me to change my behavior of my fleets, but I can't use it for the opponent's fleets. Actually, let me do a quick skirmish to just demonstrate that. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go with Imperium. I'm just going to use Emperor's Tarot. This will make more sense there in a moment. When I select the enemy ships, I can set priorities on them, and I can prioritize what components to critically hit. And those are not on the same hotkeys. Like down here, Shift 1 allows me to turn on auto engagement. Shift 2 changes from broadside to prow arc. Shift 3 changes the engagement range. Shift 4 is preferred engagement side if I have it set to auto engage. The problem is you would think that that hotkey would be... Come on. I thought I put Emperor's Tower on. Thank you. I just had to reselect it. The problem is it doesn't work for this tab here, which I would argue is almost the same thing, shouldn't it? So those same hotkeys don't work here, so there is some optimization I would honestly to help make this a little more convenient, let alone faster. That's the main issue I'm probably going to have with controlling the Tyranid fleet. It's just having to select through all that and manually click the tentacles and then click on the target I want. Not only am I not paying attention to my fleet for a long period of time, it makes it hard to aim it properly due to the 90-degree arc from my tentacles due to their prow based, or being fixed to my prow. Whoops. I'm talking too much. Hopefully that explains what I was talking about, though. As a bit of a demonstration. Let's hopefully try this again and get a better match, though. And I got my choice of Hive Tyrant or Hive Tyrant. I wonder which one of them is the... what's the dang hero? It's on the tip of my tongue what that dang Bone Sword Tyranid is called. I can't remember. Swarm Lord, that's what it's called. The Swarm Lord. I wonder which one of them is actually a Swarm Lord, those portraits. Because it doesn't really show their weaponry the best. Technically, they're all the Swarm Lord, aren't they? Since the Tyranid, the Tyranid hive mind can recreate them at will when warranted, I suppose. Even though it's technically some kind of unique hero unit, I believe. But yeah, it's like the ultimate strategic and melee unit is what the Swarm Lord's supposed to be. No ranged attacks outside the psychic abilities it has. Ooh, we're fighting Imperial Navy. The Swarm Lord. It is technically true of all Hive Tyrants, isn't it? They all lead the swarm for you. Whether they have wings, whether they have bone swords, whether they're just got a big giant, not a venom cannon, right? Yeah, they have venom cannons. It's a heavy venom cannon if I'm remembering my codex properly. That could have changed, mind you. Now let's try this again. I don't know how fond I am of this fleet, but mainly it's due to the inconvenience of controlling said fleet. So Group 3 and Group 4. Let's give this another try. It works well when my opponent doesn't want to try to avoid me. But then again, the Seeker missiles have the potential to just murder my fleets really damn well too, in all honesty. So I can't take them... I have to take them seriously. Actually, Group 4, I think I want you to grab this since it is my flagship. So keeping that alive just for the extra abilities might be handy. This is going to be a bit of a pain, because even the rush I have to do individually too, to an extent. Let's get this going. See if this can be a little bit more interesting. They'll grab the points. I gotta remember my dang swarm cloud, which in all honesty I should use at least should try using a spore field more for like additional gas clouds or area effects I can hide in. But that doesn't look like it's gonna be a problem, is it now? The Swarm Lord, at least the Tyranid Codex I had 4 bone blades, and it could cause instant death, but what is it? Normally you need... I'm trying to remember what the ultimate benefit was to having the 4 swords. Since bone swords had the potential of instant death, and I believe if you forfeited weapons with a regular Hive Tyrant, you just made them reroll the leadership roll, I think it was, that caused instant death. And I think with the 4, with the 4 it gets an invulnerable save in melee. At least that's what my codex version was. It's probably not the case anymore. Speaking of which, I forgot to launch my fighters, which is probably a bit of a mistake because of this gas cloud is going to conceal them. Otherwise, my fleet's going pretty well. I'm just going to have to wait for this to cap, which should be pretty simple to do. And gotta be mindful of getting spotted by a frigate, which... Okay, I had to double check. J is still my scanner pulse ability. That's kind of what I was a little bit worried of, is that it was different. Kind of like how the Necron's hotkey is different. Actually, let me get this jumping in. Get you jumping in. 10 seconds for this cruiser to jump in. Alright. We're just about in fire range. And what do I want to prioritize? I think really weapons. Since if Imperial Navy probably wants to get in close, if I were to be so honest. And let's just launch the boarding parties, since I'm pretty certain I have enough fighters to just slow this down. Or at least make it so they can't get away. Hit me. Hit me. Let me board you and everything. Although, this is where micromanagement comes in. I have to manually turn these, or I could tell them to actually engage the ship. That'd probably help a lot with my problem here. Now, kill all the morale on these things. Yes, this is going to be simple and to the point. That's probably one thing I could do, is just set them to look at the ship. I'm a little bit paranoid they're going to broadside or try to circle around it, since a lot of the fleets actually do that. And never mind the fact they're actually trying to ram it. So maybe changing engagement might help with that some. Let's see, you can board. Actually, I don't quite want to ram you, I just want to board you, since I don't have the massive claws anymore. But this is only 4 cruisers. Where the hell are the other ones? There's more here. Kinda called it. Now, everything on the battleship. Let's eat it nicely. Gotta be watch for those drifting hulks, though. That's the important thing right now. Actually, I could just... Wow, I just swiped it aside with the tail. Oh, this is gonna hurt. I just rammed myself a whole bunch there, mainly because they didn't have a waypoint set. That's one of the weirdest things with how the rush mechanic works. Oh, speaking of which, I again forgot I could just reset that too. I hope... Let me see. Is the stream working for me there? I see the chat just fine, but... Is the stream working just fine? Okay, I was hoping to mute it, but it's working on my end, dang it. Just a moment there. Someone's having issues seeing the stream. Although, I should have it set so at least the background music's still working. I didn't drop any frames, so I apologize. There doesn't seem like anything I can do on my end to help you there. But that was at least a little more entertaining, but only slight. They were trying to be sneaky with the battleship, again with this goddamn hiding the gas cloud, just jumping in there, thinking it's going to make a difference. And ultimately it did nothing. It's a nice simple fleet, but I think I have an idea how to fix that some. If only slightly. Set the engagement range to 4,500, because apparently if I just set them to engage the target, they just try and ram it, which is not what I want to do, since I don't have the massive claws. Drukhari, I'd be willing to do some Drukhari. Mix up a little bit. But come to think of it, what kind of fleets do we want to play? Let's do some Adeptus. And also, if anyone's interested, let me know if you want to group up for a quick 2v2 match or not. Since I am definitely open to that. Just for the fun of it, I would like to play around with the Mecha Dominator. Probably, well, I'm just thinking the practicality of this. 30-second stun can be pretty useful, but it's only on a single ship, which can be really good for killing a ship. I'll need to play with it some. And as I've learned, this extended range is kind of pointless, is it now? If I already got 1800 unit range, that's completely pointless. Since the maximum range with lock-on is 22,500, and as I've learned with my Chaos Fleet, this, again, is useless, unless I don't want to use lock-on. So this gives me room to use different upgrades, is what I'm learning. Armor-piercing ammo, and what are my other upgrades? Micro-warp jump, and what's this last one? I'm trying to remember. Oh, armor on the shields, that's what it is. Aw, that's a shame. So if you're watching through a Twitch app, that might be what's going on. Otherwise, What would be a good upgrade? I don't care about this since I'm not going to try and spam my Novacans for crying out loud. So I think it's the Assassin if I had to pick a favorite. Speaking of favorites, which one's our favorite here, I wonder? I'm trying to remember which one was my actual fabric Mechanicus. Which one's my actual tech priest that's with Spire? I think it's this one here. I forget his name though. The lances on Mechanicus got buffed 50%, so I want to say they're decent. They're just designed for long range and long-term fights, and not really up close and personal battles. Assassin, well, Assassin can be really good there. That's kind of what my Space Marine opponent was doing to me there. Oh, mirror match. Well, I guess this comes down to who's better at dodging Novacans. And a question of what kind of upgrades utilizing. Armor piercing round I need to pay attention for, since if they don't have it, I probably want to get in close. Excuse me there. And also, the one subtle thing of having a Mechanicus, or the Arc Mechanicus, is this is one of the only Adeptus Mechanicus ships that has a spur on it. So, if close range combat's a thing, I should use that to its fullest potential, while blowing up everything with my macro cans and possibly a Nova can shot. That all sounds fun, right? It's going to be tricky without micro warp jump though to actually do that. That's the problem. Anything else I want to change? Disruption bomb? Can I get away with disruption bomb? The range is a little ridiculous. Or rad storm. If I hit him with the stasis bomb, that would be amazing, but I'm kind of expecting it unrealistically happen, though. Otherwise, let's get our formation set up. Mechanicus protected by everything else. We'll get this going. And let's not forget our lock-on, since that's important for the range factor.
With matchless efficiency.
Oh, and I deployed you in a bad spot, didn't I? Clearly this was a bit rushed, wasn't it? Yeah, well, I'm really fatigued anyway from work and just tiring myself out with a little bit of workout as well. So that's probably not doing me any favors. And the sad truth is it makes me really moody, which is probably what happened if you watched my match against Jamodon against Necrons, because I feel like I really screwed up losing that match against Necron. If I were to be honest. Thankfully that's not the case here, but I still feel really fatigued. A lot of it, mostly, if I were to be honest, is probably the time change, which I'm sure screwed everyone up. So priority on weapons. And, ooh, no armor-piercing ammo. Ooh, and a Dictator. So I think what I want to do is a close range engagement, at least prepare for it, just because of the lack of armor-piercing ammo in general. So I like this potential.
We are ready to serve.
And, when do I want to go in there? Since ideally I want to wait till when they burn their Nova Cannon shots so I don't get screwed over by that. If it's at all possible.
To serve the Omnissiah.
Actually, let's murder this thing. I got lances and weapons firing on it.
Has seized a strategic area.
And if I can hit with torpedoes, that'd be amazing.
Machine spirit appeased.
Perfect 2 torpedo hit.
State your order.
Do I want to do it again? Hell, fire 2 more torpedoes. They're sadly going to be a miss, with a chance of hitting myself. Damn it! I thought I could dodge that. Then it just turned a little bit too much. But that was an effective kill. I'm happy with that start.
Rouse the engines.
It did distract me from potential Novacans, though.
Receiving your order.
And I've been not utilizing my cybernetic orb the best either. Since it has unlimited charges, why the hell not use it?
The spirits obey.
State your order.
Yep. The main problem, though, as much as
begun.
It's not really my fault, but I still hate it nonetheless, is since I keep jumping between factions and never focus on one consistently, especially on the initial few weeks when I try to showcase all the factions by playing for a day or two, it makes it really difficult to actually figure a race out and get the nuances down.
You have seized a strategic area.
Ooh, I'm tempted to just do this again.
To serve
Although
the
I'm not going to have the
Omnisire.
support of the rest of my fleet.
Receiving
Not
your
this
order.
time, so... Can I do this again?
Collision protocols active.
One torpedo hit, I'll take it.
Optimal course set.
And a fire assault for good measure.
Receiving your order.
I can't get too distracted because this is the time where I'm going to get hit by Nova cans.
Retropropulsion.
And with the commentary and all that, it makes it hard to hear too.
Machine spirit appeased.
So gotta be careful. And they're all dictators.
You have seized a strategic
They're almost all dictators. I should immediately jump their asses.
We are ready to serve. Rouse the engines.
Did I kill that? It's mutinied. It's dead. Okay.
We are ready to serve.
Only the
Transition
Arc
begun.
Mechanicus is gonna take the hits. I'm fine with that.
Weapons calibrated.
Now, actually, since I only didn't see all the ships yet, let me try and focus down. If I kill their engines, Nova can the hell out of it.
Detected. Thruster routines active.
It helps if I had set a priority before jumping, since I don't know if the critical hits are applied immediately or as the troop damage is being dealt with this new mechanic.
Calculated.
There. The engines are permanently gone. I don't need to tell you what this means. Overkill at its finest. Oh boy. This is gonna bite me in the ass slightly.
Appeased. Engage ancient red lines. With matchless efficiency.
This is gonna bite me in the ass some, but we killed one of their
We
ships
are
at
ready
least.
to serve.
And you are mutinying and also gone, so I think we're
Matchless
perfectly fine.
efficiency.
Despite that, leaving myself open like that.
Receiving your order.
And I have shields up.
Calculating vectors.
Oh, I gotta remember, this boosts my shields too.
Machine spirit appeased.
It's probably not the best use of it, just for the shields, but that's an idea.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic.
Let's see, engine's gone? No engine's gone yet, so... And you're not even prioritized, so let's fix that.
Engaging drive.
And remember, my Arc Mechanicus has a prow,
Serve the Omnisire. Thruster routines
and I can't hit you with a Nova can I? Not really, but
to serve the Omnisire.
just... Ah, dang it. Oh,
Appeased.
Alright, I'm getting carried away now. What was looking promising is going to easily screw up if I don't pay attention and don't focus. Because again, I got armor-piercing ammo.
Set.
Oh yeah, and that had the assassin, so I should have saved that for
We are ready to serve.
the flagship, if I were to be honest.
Teleportarium vectors calculated.
Alright, let's see.
Optimal course set.
Your morale,
Enemy
you
is
can
seizing
execute,
one of your
okay.
strategic areas.
If once you'll let me.
State your order.
And I have no micro warp jump, so I'm gonna have to try and turn and face... Ooh, let me just kill the ship. Its engine's gone, so the
Escort
flagship
ship
can deal with
at
that.
null function. Reroute power to retropropulsion. The spirits
Let me just ram its side. I have the heavy armor to justify a sum.
receiving your order.
Otherwise, you sadly burnt all your combustion gauge because of the stasis bomb. You're gone.
Purge suspect
You're still up.
pathways. Calculating
Can we
vectors.
disengage now?
We cannot endure.
Come on, get one torpedo in before you die.
Serve the Omnisire. Engaging drive.
Oh god.
Odds of survival.
Well, at least my rally came up at a good time. It just sadly
Thruster
burnt
routines active.
my stance there. This is looking good. Let me get my frigate going.
We are
Actually,
ready
this
to
thing's already
serve.
dead. The spur is doing wonders right now. With that
Machine
side
spirit
ram.
appeased.
And the point blank range with that armor piercing ammo is going to do amazing too. Not the best control, but that was, I want to argue that was a phenomenal start at least. Sniping those 2 frigates down basically for free. If nothing else, I was happy with that.
To serve the
And otherwise, you just need a break, and I think we're done here. Yep, I think we're done.
matchless efficiency.
No, I guess there's... Okay, I'm wrong. Apparently it has to wait for the ship to actually explode for the match to end.
State your order.
A little bit messy at the fight itself, but hey, I won basically only using half my Novacan shots, I think. Some of which was massive overkill on that first cruiser, mind you. So it was still pretty damn efficient otherwise. Just not the best performance. But a good demonstration nonetheless. And you want Drukhari, so let's dive into that. Now the question, do I want to go back to Circling Sharks? I have a torpedo fleet. I've been experimenting with carriers. I don't even remember if this is a carrier fleet or not though. The problem is carriers are damn expensive, and cloak and dagger strategy is going to be really tricky to utilize, but it's different. It's different enough for me to consider it. What did I have there? 3 Fiends and a Burning Scale, I think it was before. Is that what I want? The larger the squadrons, the better in all honesty. Only thing I don't like is no frigates. At least the spot. I don't like that one bit. And it goes without saying, this is probably a really bad fleet against the Corsairs and Azuriani. So this is probably an auto loss if I go up against them. I don't like going all cruisers, but like I said, they're so damn expensive after all. I can only get 4 of them in there and nothing else. Which is probably the reason why you don't see fighter builds in general. This might be a little more reasonable. Might be. What do I want for frigates with that said? Since I'm relying more on the bombers than anything else. You know what? It's stupid, but I don't think I see too much value in these dang frigates at the moment. I can use the fighters for fission to a limited extent. Well, Azuriani is understandable because they just got heavily nerfed. Due to the torpedo nerf anyway, they only get a single charge, but their pulsars got buffed, which is the playstyle I prefer doing. I never liked the star cannons for something that at least focuses on hit and run styles. But everyone else did, but in my matches they like to stand there and just shoot and hopefully kill you ideally. It's what I've been seeing at least. I don't know if I like this fleet, but we're gonna go with it. And we'll even change the coloration, we'll go with Black Heart this time around. I should have set myself to Do Not Disturb there on Steam, but no big deal. Now, what would be good for this fleet? I want to experiment more with Venom Shards. This is probably not the fleet for it, since it only has a 45-second cooldown and unlimited charges, which could be really good if I want to focus on killing a fleet. But if I'm going carriers, I ideally never want to engage them. That's the idea. How do I feel about this? I think Stasis Bomb for just in case things are going bad. You know, I really should look into the Impalers some. They don't sound really effective, being only a single charge, as opposed to torpedoes, but I should look at them at some point. What do I want for... Well, upgrades don't matter now. So we'll just go with King Crude batteries and armor piercing, Blessing of All. That sounds good enough. At least for now. Yeah, he's got a helmet now. That's the one benefit of being the Black Hearts, is it? You get additional portraits mainly because of the story, I think. You encounter 2 different like Drukhari commanders or captains. And conveniently, this one solves your problem with needing a helmet. But what are we up against? I'm afraid. I'm scared. I'm silent on purpose, in case you're wondering. You know why. You damn well know why. Well, we're gonna have to try sometime. We're gonna have to try. Oh, and I forgot to save the fleet too, but it's still a fighter-based fleet, mind you. Now, what's the one benefit I have here? Ramming blades sadly does not work. I would like to think I have a chance ramming them kamikaze style to win, but ramming blades do not work, or at least they never did when I tried it in skirmish, and the one time I'm pretty certain I tried this upgrade once. It just doesn't show on here, but otherwise, spear crystal lens is a must. Because I don't know if this is bugged. I feel like this is bugged as well because it's supposed to pause the regeneration, and for some reason I have the feeling it doesn't actually do that. But we're gonna try. Reload and reload. You're the Lance variant. Do I want the beacon still with that said? Because I kind of need the extra armor. This is gonna be... I don't feel like I could safely run from them once I get spotted. Not in a way that's safe. And I never did pay attention to gas clouds either. Now, do I launch fighters or not? Oh, I heard the ping over on the left. Oh, I have an Impaler too? Good God, this is a really mixed up fleet. Which one's the Impaler? Oh, the light cruiser. I'm not honestly against that so much. But why do I have only one squadron of fighters? Oh, I did launch 3 fighters. Okay, I was wondering what the heck was going on. I thought I only launched 2. I have reload. I have the King Crude batteries. I just need to get the best initiation possible. Is what I feel it'll come down to. Unless it's a Void Stalker, there might be a chance just because of how expensive a Void Stalker is. And actually, let me hold. Okay, eclipses. Nope, so much for that idea. Actually, I want to kill the generator, not the engines. I know where it is, I just gotta time this properly. Which, I think there's a bit of a blind spot here for him. Okay, they do have a Void Stalker. Ooh, we see everything. Again, the perfect initiation is kind of what we need. Because those are 3 damn Vols, aren't they? And I don't think I have enough fighters to actually shoot those off. Where did I launch those fighters anyway? Because they're going in a terrible spot right now.
What is your wish?
I should have launched them a little bit closer, because I want them all to fight together. The good news is the Void Stalker is the only one that actually can launch fighters, so I could deal with that. My bombers are basically unhindered, especially if I can get them on the ship.
How may I serve?
The falls are in the gas cloud. My ships are moving still, right? Okay. That's the important thing. Again, it comes down to your perfect initiation and ideally hitting them when they're spread out. And since my opponent's kind of ignoring their... Ah, dang it. I got them spot, but I don't think there's anything I can do about this yet. I'm still getting points, as stupid as it sounds. I'm winning because of the single objective I decide to capture.
What is your wish?
Now, what I want to do is launch all the fighters on the dang Void Stalker. Can I do that in any effective way? Ooh, please fly into these fighters. They could just take that out.
We shall flay them all.
I'm a little reluctant to... Oh wait, I hope my opponent's not noticing this. Watching these fighters. Because I could theoretically take those out. Now, are they seriously recalling? That's a bad time for that. The fighters at least will reveal them if they're directly behind me. But ideally I want to kill the Void Stalker's fighters since there are only 3 charges, and if I can get the fighters on top of their fleet, then I get permanent vision and I can start wearing down the point defense for later. I got spotted briefly by the fighters though, so I need to move this thing. And these fighters are also giving away my position, which is a bit of an annoyance. Never mind that alone being an annoyance. And my opponent refuses to grab a point, which I'm still sort of thankful for. It helps a little bit, but I need to listen for those Wraith Bone shifts.
What is your wish?
Okay, one more fighter squadron. Thank you for accommodating me. Now I need to get vision long enough to have my fighters reach them. Launching 2 fighters there. Sadly, that revealed nothing, but 2 fighters is a good start. Can I get vision? Yeah, I'm easily going to get vision long enough to spot them. And maybe I can isolate this, since if he brings it with the Void Stalker and everything else, then simply put, I could just snipe that thing down.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
There. Kind of like that, but I don't have enough fighters to kind of... Yeah, they're going to get shot down really quickly if I don't act quick.
I see slaves to be claimed.
My fighters are also going to get shot down by the Void Stalker. So I'm not quite going to get the kill I wanted. And they're all there too. On the plus side, I don't need this frigate at the moment. And how many fighters do I have left? Because I would like to have enough that I can kind of force their point defense to die. I could stasis bomb, I probably should. But those fighters are gone. I just need vision long enough.
What aids the Cabal?
I can grab the points. I need something to initiate really well, and I have the fighters for it. And the Void Stalker can't spot me consistently enough yet. Not anymore. I just gotta wear down their weaponry. Or the point defense, rather. And for that to work, I need my fighters to come back.
Strategic area.
I want to launch bombers. Is that a good idea or not? Actually, I could have lightning strike them. A little late now, though. Yeah, a little late now, but 70% chance to critically hit's not terrible. Can the fighters... Conveniently, the fighters are going to be a good distraction here. Yeah, I guess no choice now.
You have seized a strategic area.
The Void Stalker... Well, actually, does the Void Stalker need to die? I argue these things need to die.
You have accumulated 25%.
Yeah, they're just all dying immediately due to the pulsars. My bombers did absolutely nothing there. If I had gotten some generator hits, that would help a ton, but... As it stands, my opponent had more health than me, with 3 cruisers and a battleship. So that was a little unfortunate. It was good until I decided to commit, so... I just didn't... If only I had more fighters. That's the bit of the problem there. I could have started chipping them down with that. Since I had more speed, I could have just kept backing off, especially with his stasis bomb. But let me compare points. 300 points for this thing, and how much for the falls? It's like 250-ish, maybe. 230, so... They had more hit points, I couldn't even win in a straight-up fight. So, more of the story, I feel like I used up too many of my fighters. I need to kill the Voidstalker's fighters much more quicker. Since I only had 2 squadrons and they were kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere, getting shot at the time. So I need to really figure out the nuance there. Again, I had the speed to kind of keep evading them. But without fighters, these things get shot down immediately, especially with the convenience of them flying away from the bombers. It's not as convenient as, say, the merchant fleet in my YouTube video, and having so many fighter squadrons that it takes an eternity for them to shoot them all down. That was not pleasant. But with that said, let's try something serious now. Something that at least has more health if we go up against an Air Corsair fleet. Since what, that's 300 points, so... It's only 50 more points for a battleship in comparison to the Fiend Ascendant, so I think we're doing good there. Extended range. And splinter torpedoes, okay. And let's change your helm problem that you had there. Are we good? I think we're good. Let's have ourselves a real match. That's going to take a little bit of figuring out, but playing passive obviously would have probably been the better choice. Again, I need enough fighters left over to at least allow the bombers to even get close. Since they're not like torpedoes that immediately or completely ignore armor. Now the big question, are we going to get Eldari again or not? Are we going to get Eldari or not? Well, first we need an actual opponent. That seems to be the problem here right now. Is there anything I would like to change? Oh god, I got rid of my upgrades. But it won't let me select upgrades. Thank God we can actually change these in deployment, because that could easily screw you over. Just clicking around for the sake of it and just unequipping all your upgrades. Let's correct this here. I guess everyone's in a match at the moment. They do take a little bit of time. So this might be incentive to try a 2v2, spice things up a bit. That's what it's looking like at least. Although I don't know if 2v2 is going to be any much different. But with that said, what kind of fleet do I want to play with? Let's just go with something brute force-y. Let's see if orcs are up for a challenge. We'll ignore... No, I want 2v2. Give me 2v2. And I'm trying to remember if these are 1,000-point fleets or not. I think those are 1,000-point fleets. Let me check to make sure, though. Nope, this is not even close to 1,000 points. We need to correct this wrong. We got 2 kills. Let's get a terror. Or a hammer, rather. Killa. Actually, I'll go with 2 hammers and then a bunch of light cruisers. Gotta make sure they're actually ones with the heavy cans, mind you, or mega cans. And I think we're good with 4 frigates. There we go. Then otherwise, let's get as much plate armor as we can get. Hopefully this goes quicker. Worst case, I could just jump back and forth. Kind of was expecting a 1v1 match at this point, though. Like I said, I'm just going to jump back and forth there. It should speed things up, especially since I don't need the dang upgrades and skills. So I could just rapidly go through, at least help with the downtime a little bit, if nothing else. Now the big question, who are we up against? Who's going to be my victim to correct this wrong? Ooh, Tyranids. I should in theory have an easy time with them, provided I spot the majority of their fleet. Gotta watch for possible double rushes though, which is something I did a really bad job utilizing in my Tyranid games, if I were to be honest. Nonetheless, I'm feeling good with this match. I got Disruption Bomb to make it easy for my torpedoes to get through. Never mind everything else at the same time. Stasis Bomb probably to avoid getting chased. Worst case situation. Or actually Micro Warp Jump might be better. I just gotta be really mindful of their double rush. That's all. Do I want this? The extended range? I'm trying to think what would be a good alternative in all honesty, since I don't want to get too close. Hello, thank you for the raid there. Thank you very much for the raid. Let's see. Chinte89, I believe it's the name. This is my first time I think getting raided, so I don't know if I should be terrified or excited. But welcome to the stream. We're about an hour in. I'm just fooling around with a bunch of different fleets, ideally. I've been playing with the Town Merchant Fleet mostly for my YouTube version, but let's have some fun here. I'm about to correct a wrong that just happened with my Drukhari fleet last time. Oh, where are my manners? Oh, my opponent looked like he was AFK anyway, so I think we're good. I spent so much time talking I haven't even looked at the map in all honesty, so this is gonna bode well. Ooh, and Gas Cloud, I forgot my intention to try and hide my fleet. So let's take advantage of this, shall we? My opponent will see nothing that's deploying here. Ideally.
What is your wish?
You're gonna grab the points. You're gonna get your shadow field and ideally see what our opponent is. Although, now that I think of it, I probably could have used the beacon, couldn't I? Thank you very much there, Nin6. It's still work in progress, but so long as you enjoy the videos, I'm happy for it. It's just me trying to get more into Twitch that I'm trying to do. Ideally, my schedule I would like to try is Wednesday now, where I'm the time frame I'm currently streaming, and ideally, if I can get enough free time for it, try another stream on Sunday. Oh god, am I gonna get revealed? Yeah, I'm gonna get revealed. I did not account for that very well. One of the minor inconveniences of Drukari's that don't actually have solid writing to conveniently, permanently conceal themselves. They rely the most on stealth, but at the same time, you're completely visible at the very start of a match. It seems a little counterintuitive, doesn't it? Otherwise, make sure the battleship grabs that and the rest are going to try a spot. Without neutralizing a point, hopefully. There we go. Oh god, company. Oh, a lot of company. I guess we're holding off to capture the objective strategy. What do we have? Oh, these are just 3 light cruisers, so... And that's going to do a little bit of damage, but it doesn't reveal me. It is hurting my Wraithbone shift, though.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Scanner pulses detected nothing. And hopefully I can start hitting these things. They're crushing claws, but there could always be more around, given by the fact there was a scanner pulse a moment ago. And these things should be easy enough to kill, I just need to not get rushed down.
What aids the Cabal? Fear our onset.
And no boarding, thankfully, so I didn't get quite bored yet.
What is your wish?
I gotta keep in mind I'm really good at boarding too, so maybe I could kill off one of these things.
We are inside their
And you have lightning strikes on those things too.
fear our onset.
That could be a bit scary.
The Cabal is all.
Now let's try flanking, but I'm very wary of going to the left side because I only see light cruisers.
Cabal is all.
Ooh, actually, this is a perfect opportunity to strike them down.
Sowing
What other upgrades do they have with that said? The lightning strike and reload regenerates shields, is that what that is? Yep. You're currently not reloading, so...
With all speed.
And currently, you have no crushing claws, so maybe I could just kill you two right now. I have a minute... Oh no, actually, yeah, 20 seconds before that came back online is what I was going to say. I'm thinking Necrons there first. Since, do I really want to waste torpedoes? Not all of my torpedoes if I'm going to waste any. That is damn good hit there. Can I finish this off? This is risky. But if I can board this one to death, that would be great. I could deal with that. Oh god. Thankfully the massive claws did not hit. And I was kind of hoping to kill that thing with boring. Oh god. That was inconvenient. I hit the tail of the dang ship and it knocked everything off course. That really hurt. And it didn't even kill the ship either. That's what's even more annoying about that. Now, we're not out of the woods yet. That was only 3 light cruisers, remember. Nothing there. Let's grab these points. Oh.
You have accumulated 25%
Well, we know we're a cruiser. Well, battle cruiser, that's what it looks like. Reveal it. And I have Disruption Bomb and Micro Warp Jump. Where's my air cruiser? Oh yeah. Engine destroyed and you're kind of not getting controlled very well. Can I get the torpedo hits I want? That looks like a hit. Get this out. I have no Wraith Bone shift, so this might hurt. Can I do the damage necessary? Because what I did see is no synaptic link for the battle cruisers. So these could break really quickly if I kill this now. I preferably would have preferred killing that thing now, before the ram. But now, with the flagship gone, I think we're good. Just can't get rushed down. I didn't pay attention if my opponent actually used. Oh, there's still one more battle cruiser. But they're panicking now. We just gotta finish this up. And ideally... Can I... Alright, we got all their fleet. Let's just grab these points with the frigates now. Ideally, get you out of harm's way. Oh, you have your shields back up. God dang it. Mutiny. That I can fix? No, I can't. I can't fix did. No. We still can have this, especially since that just broke. So this is becoming a lot easier. Although it makes me worry my opponent may be lower level, lower skilled. Since with this many battle cruisers, I kind of would have hoped they had synaptic link upgrade there. And if they did have it, this would be a lot more terrifying for that reason alone. Nope. That was a bit intense there. Now, what do you say? Yeah, that actually would be kind of cool there. I would like to see a boarding strategy with the Corn Fleet especially. The skills are really damn good, I won't lie. They technically buffed, what is it, the Bloodletter parties to basically do tennis boarding actions. It doesn't matter if it's a battleship or a light cruiser. It should still do 10 assault actions. What exactly does good do? Oh yeah, it makes it so you do 2 troop damage as opposed to what they currently do, which is either 1 or 2. I actually would be fine with that in that case. It cuts down some of the randomness, which can always be infuriating. So that would actually be pretty good. I'd be a little bit hesitant if it brought up to 3 though, but... Although, I really don't quite understand all these criticals there, since the wording seems a little bit odd. Like boarding, when performing a boarding action, but it only works with launch bays, so I have to assume that's just for the assault parties. And that also says boarding actions, which is where a bit of my confusion comes from. Exact same wording, but it suggests two different things because of what it applies to. So there's a lot of testing I need to think of. Yeah, the reason why it's confusing with the Helldrakes is, keep in mind, it only applies to ships with launch bays, which are like the Spoiler, the Stig, and all them. This is where my confusion is coming from, in all honesty. So, a little bit. I feel like a little bit of clarification may be required. Assault action, that seems a little more generic at least. I sort of can understand that. It just doesn't apply to the stats of the ship, kind of like the Orc's Wog cry here. And its wording even then is a little bit different. Of every, let's see, the critical assault chance, so even this is completely different wording. So it'd be nice to have a little bit of consistency here, if I were to be honest. Nonetheless, what do I want to try next? I did my Tyranids, I did my Lance Imperial Navy fleet. Adeptus Mechanicus was fun. What am I feeling? You know what? I'm expecting to be doing a week of Necrons really soon, because for those who are not aware, Necrons are going to be getting a brand new ship at the end of March, ideally. So I'm really hoping and really wanting to focus on Necrons for a week. So I should play with them a little bit. And with that, let's experiment with the Shroud Fleet. More hit and run base, and since I just unlocked Lightning Link, let's see if we can make this work, as opposed to using the Transdimensional Orb. Probably a stupid idea, especially with the heavy commentary, mind you, kind of making it difficult to focus, but I have enough frigates to justify the structural analyzer now. And Tesseract Crypt, so that way I can keep Silent Running going. We'll give this a try. I only really tried this for a single match, and that was against Space Marines, which I was trying to keep the hell away from their damn battle barge. So it wasn't really, probably not all that exciting, and probably not a good test of what they're capable of. But it should be something different than the Devil Tomb ship and the Mass Recall, was it light cruiser. This should be fun still, if I do it properly. I have 5 fighter squadrons to help limit Protector Fleet. Well, you know what I said about those 5 fighter squadrons? Just erase them from the equation. That's probably what's going to happen here. I don't expect my fighters to do anything besides keep their fighters at bay so I can silent run from a safe distance. Without having to use my inertialess drive, that is. But what I have in mind, since the one thing I could be happy with is the Tau have low hit points on their ships, especially the Protector Fleet. So if I can somehow get a good amount of damage on here, I can basically just kill off their Protectors easily. If my opponent's smart enough to pay attention, and it won't even damage my own ships if I have the flagship in the middle. It's going to be insanely difficult to pull off though. It goes without saying. And I have to remember these damn hotkeys too. Silent Run used to be T with my hotkey settings, and it's not the case here. It's going to be annoying trying to quickly conceal myself. Otherwise, what do I honestly expect here? Yeah, this thing is ridiculous. And like, fighting a tomb ship is like the easiest thing to do damage with, since it's like 1,200 damage over 20 seconds, for crying out loud. This will murder everything but a battle cruiser and a battleship of most factions. Well, even Grand Cruisers. Since Grand Cruisers only have, what, 2,000 health? Good God. It's going to be a nightmare if it's ever pulled off properly. The big downside that kind of works with my strategy, 3-minute cooldown. So I can use it ideally with my frigates. Suicide one of my frigates in since I have the analyzer. Which still remains to be seen if that's what I want to do, but I still have a lot to figure out with this fleet. And we're not going to reveal what my ship composition is, or where they are ideally. We're going to rely on the default speed. And interestingly enough, 2 ships. Take your bets now. I'm suspecting Double Custodian. I'm honestly thinking this is Double Custodian. With a mission anticipator, no less. Oh, yeah, it is a mission anticipator because the frigates are what's boosting. I figured the Custodians would be going faster.
Yes, my liege.
Don't ram the building. It looks like you're going to get rammed there for a moment. If I can nail the lightning link, that would be amazing. At the same time, though, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get close without being spotted.
The enemy has
But the good
seized a
news is I have
strategic
perfect
area.
aim on these things. They will never miss with the lightning arc. And compounded with the fact that the
The
shrouds
enemy
have
has seized
270-degree
a
arcs,
strategic
this should go
area.
amazing. If I can spot them. Damn it. I hit J. Oh, damn it. That's what I'm talking about with these Necrons. Okay. Forget what I was saying about trying to do damage. There's inconsistent hotkeys with Necrons. But thankfully, this gives away their position some. And I have the armor and durability to take these hits. Well, we kind of already knew it was a Custodian fleet.
The enemy has seized a strategic
I might
area.
regret doing this, because I don't have actually the range with my shrouds. And I didn't want lightning arc. I naturally assumed I was braced for impact, which I'm just realizing now they don't have brace for impact. They have faster recharge on their weapons. But it is a double Custodian fleet. I see. Now I gotta keep an eye on this range here. Well, seeker missiles. I'll happily take that. This looks like a good opportunity as any. Oh, I should move. I was hoping to do damage, but it's not going to be. Lightning link is established, but in a bad spot. I can fix this. Just hold bay and watch them melt. Well, that's not really true. I did change the reload though, so I don't got the lightning arc on everything. But look at that thing go. I shouldn't get too excited just yet. Since my flagship's about to take a big hit because it did after all just jump. Normally this is meant as a hit and run type fleet, and thankfully they did not launch manta bombers. And I do have reload for the inertialist drive to come back up. So you are dead, right? Please be dead in a moment. This will do a great deal for me. And we have a lot of frigates. No one's surprised by the fact it's double Custodian. It sadly wasn't the flagship, but let's jump this out. Since the flagship is going to take a lot of morale damage if I'm not careful.
25% to strategic points.
Actually, I could jump with everything. It's a little bit awkward, but let's see if we could solid run. Yeah. I want you to live, damn it. You're not living very well. But that thing is dying really well due to the fighters and the boarding. And we dealt with the seeker missiles really well. Now let's actually start controlling this fleet properly, because actually, let's try and just shoot them. Ideally melee. They have the armor to kind of justify it some. And if you can get concealed, you're going to live for a while. You didn't get concealed. The fighters were giving away your position too much. And nothing can jump at the moment to protect it. I think we're good though, because the Custodian just launched all his fighters, and because my fighters do damage to the oh no, never mind. There's more there. Ooh, you're actually going to live still. No, engine's gone. I take that back. Just fly far enough away to... Ooh, you're stealthed. How did... Oh yeah, saw it running. Silly me, I'm all sorts of messed up. This is not good commentary. Do I have Lightning Link? This would be the perfect time for it. Sadly not gonna happen. And I took heavy morale damage. Not too ridiculous. Now just finish off this Custodian. Because I have health here. They're hitting everything. I think those can actually win the fight, if I were to be so honest. Very slowly, but they can win the fight. And let's just recharge. I have full armor, I could take these relatively well. Let's just turn off defocusing fire for now. Dang it, closer the better. They're trying to move to 9,000 in range, I think, is what's going on here. And their armor's recharging. They should be in perfect... Ooh, we just got a morale. We just broke the morale out of that. Perfect. This thing's all sorts of dead. Well, that's not the kind of match I would have wanted, in all honesty. But it kind of worked out nicely. The Lightning Link made it so the Custodian died insanely fast, but man, that 3-minute cooldown is felt for such a long-term engagement. Which is kind of why I like the idea of hit and run with this type of fleet, especially when combo with something like this. I dive in there, do a ridiculous amount of burst damage, and with the inertialess drive, ideally, jump back out and conceal myself. It's just not ideal when they have so many frigates, mind you. And my opponent did not really take it seriously either. They could have easily done an all-ahead full, perhaps, and mitigate a lot of that damage. But with that said, let's try another one. Just one more. Oh, it's already 9:30. I'm okay with playing with more Necron. I'm just wondering if there's anything else I want to try before I call it a wrap soon. I want to play Orcs for 2v2 just for the mindless fun of mega cans. But let's try some more with the Shroud build. That was not a good demonstration of what I want to practice. And we'll change the color for good measure too. And otherwise, I'm trying to remember, let's see, Mass Recall's level 9. I'm trying to remember what this last upgrade is for the purposes of if it would help my Shroud build or not. No, I haven't tried any Orc boarding build in all honesty. Because in all honesty, I don't really enjoy it too much. The concept anyway. Just because they lack high energy turn to reliably board with, or at least not easily board. Although I am going to have to look into the Evil Suns since they have an upgrade to increase their turning speed, which might change my mind on that. But sadly I haven't looked into it too much there just yet. Oops, excuse me. It is a popular build though. I see a lot of, was a handful of the 3 battleships with all the fighter bays. That seems to be one of the more popular type Orc builds. But I'm not personally more of a fan of the Mega Cans, but a lot of that's because of personal bias, since that was my main Orc fleet in Armada 1, if I were to be serious. So I need to learn to break that habit and experiment with other stuff, see if I enjoy it more, or find a love for the other builds. By Imperial Navy, this will be as standard as it can get. This complements my hit and run strategy pretty well. Dispersed Lightning Arc doesn't really help me so much unless I want to hit multiple ships, and apparently I have to playtest with the idea if it's possible to hit a ship multiple times with this. Because think about it, if there's a ship behind it, does that mean I technically hit them twice with 2 different Lightning Arcs? That is something I really want to playtest and understand. Because that could be amazing. Wait a minute. Where's my structural analyzer? You did it again, you cursed thing. And I'm not happy about it. Well, so much for that. I am currently in reload stance, so maybe chipping them around might be useful. I'm just not going to be committing to fights, is the problem.
Inevitable.
That's not all infuriating. I would like my structural analyzer. It's another one of those weird bugs. I don't know what actually causes that bug, mind you, since I had it happen once with an Azure Yanni match that I did a couple, not last week, but the week before, I think. Maybe it was last week. I could be wrong. It was after the patch, anyway. Yeah, help you destroy the ships, because now it does what, 20 damage per boarding? Every single boarding at that. So that can be built up quickly, but before it was only 5 damage, mind you, which was not really worth it, in all honesty. You're going to do at what? 100 damage with only 20 boarding, which is enough to normally kill the crew off most of the ships. But what do we have here? I suspect Retribution battleship here and 4 cruisers of some kind.
Seized a strategic area.
With maybe 1 frigate grabbing that point right now. If I had to guess.
What is your command?
Thankfully, we can easily find out with Scanner Pulse. I'm just going to hold fire for good measure. Now the big question, how the hell are we going to harass this fleet? Since it is kind of deathball-y at the moment.
The enemy has seized a strategic
Well, easily
area.
enough I could just grab all the points. Force them to spread out, or at least reveal themselves by trying to steal my points. Alright, you don't have short burn torpedoes, that's good to know. And it is exactly as I thought, 4 cruisers and at least a Retribution. And I gotta remember hotkeys, the cursed hotkeys. Let's not try and deal with the boarding damage anymore. Does this dodge? Yep, dodges the one. Does it dodge the Retribution? Just a little more. Oh, melted torpedoes. Well, that's convenient. I almost dodged them completely anyway, but now I have no risk. And we'll just jump and bamboozle. I have no reason to be scared, but I do want to get out. Ideally, I want to attack from behind them. But if my opponents saw the torpedoes disappearing and getting hit, that probably is a good tell they know where I'm at. Oh, I didn't even pick a stance yet. That's a bit of a failing. I wasn't revealed there. Now let's try and have these frigates actually prepared to snipe their 1 frigate. And that might force a response from these cruisers. Meanwhile, I'll snipe this frigate here. What are you going to go after? The 4 frigates over here?
The enemy has seized
I'm tempted to jump in there. It's probably a terrible idea, though. If I were to be so honest. Well, that's a good way to kill a ship quickly. Hey there, buddy. How's it going? Sadly, I'm not going to have the rate of fire. Ah, dang it. That's not what I want. Oh well, let's just kill this one at least.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Almost. Well, it did break mutiny. Now, let's try and get on out of here. I have 30 seconds till I can assault run, but that's fine. For now. Because I got enough frigates here to kind of just deal with these and grab the point behind them.
Has seized a strategic area.
I do not want to repair a damaged prow or engine. And launching that fire on my ship was probably a mistake too. Okay, silent run on everything, making sure the hotkey is proper this time, damn it. And engines will be repaired soon. That probably will scare them off some. Come on, repair. I know it's a minute long, but oh, thank God. Thank God. Okay, so we prompted a cruiser to disengage. This is a start. I might as well just ram these things right now. Well, that's not a good idea. Ooh, I'm really tempted to jump that. You know what would be amazing? A lightning link on all three of them, but that's just being greedy.
The distant spear. Motive units fully engaged.
So let's just disengage.
Disengage weaponry.
Alright, we'll happily deal with your frigate. Thankfully I have the Tesseract Crypt to make it so my Silent Run was not destroyed by that dang deck loss. One more hit for good measure. So that's all the frigates. Ah, goddammit. Not a huge issue due to Silent Run, but... Oh god, it was the exact same one that lost the engine earlier. You have horrible luck, don't you?
What is your command?
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points. You have seized a strategic
Can I jump that
area.
cruiser now? And
Inferior vessels.
yeah, especially when it's all here.
How may I serve?
Sadly, a structural analyzer would be amazing for this situation.
I serve your glory.
And I'm currently Silent Running, but can I reload?
The enemy has
Yes, I
seized a
can, because of the
strategic
Shroud
area.
effect.
The enemy has seized
I was
a
just wondering if the
strategic area.
Silent Run was available for everything.
Inevitable.
Rally? Was that a misclick? Well, they kind of did a notable amount of damage to themselves, didn't they?
Is your command? Yes, my liege.
You burned so much of your combustion gauge there, buddy, for that 180-degree turn. I look forward to punishing the hell out of that. Actually, let's...
On the march.
Lightning Link or not. That's what I'm undecided on right now. But instead, let's use our fighters. They actually do damage to these ships.
As you command.
I don't know if it's worth using the Lightning Link yet, but I need to get a good broadside flank on him first. Let's hold off on the Lightning Link.
All power to motive units.
I was hoping to do Lightning Link, but then it charged me, so not the most convenient timing.
Inferior
But
vessels.
it's slowly going down. The fighters are doing their things. We're suddenly turning the orcs for a brief period of time here. Ooh, you're getting disorganized. I like the potential here. We got another
The enemy
victim
has
to
accumulated
join
25% of
the Necron
strategic
Fleet here.
points.
Can I Lightning Link that? It's really hard to do, mind you. Oh god. I at least could take the hits well, but of all the ships you had to ram, it was the flagship.
What is your command?
Can I Lightning Link?
On the march.
I want to look for an opportunity to Lightning Link this thing. And ideally board it. Where... You look like you have a damaged engine, for crying out loud.
I serve your glory.
There, this is promising enough. Quick. Go through the beam there. Channel your inner Necron's death. Or your inner demise. Good damage, but my ships were... who am I kidding? This could have kept on moving. It's a little bit blinded by the star in the back dropping, though. The background. But two cruisers gone. And we still got a... Why do these frigates keep popping up? I feel like I should have killed all these by now. And keep in mind, we're losing by objective too, so let's not get tunnel vision.
Initializing motive.
Let's not get tunnel vision.
Ready
I have a good lead for destroying the cruisers, mind you.
to bring terror unseen.
But I think that was pretty good.
What is
4 seconds till you could jump on out. And we'll get these guys ready for a little bit more. Ah, dang it. I was going to lightning strike you and everything.
distant spear?
Come to think of it, I should try and lightning strike. But I can't with everything too far away.
Ready to serve. Inevitable. Shroud strike.
I could actually lightning strike this. I'm just holding fire, which may be a bad idea since I'm giving away where I am with these boards anyway.
Initializing motive power.
Actually, these... Oh, no, I was going to say maybe they could do their boarding, or...
Vessels suffered critical damage.
And they're too far away now. Never mind.
Relocating.
I could have got that a little bit better.
Engage unceasing fire.
Let's just go grab points.
Motive units fully engaged.
I am enjoying it so far, if nothing else. I don't know its practicality or how much power it has. My battles against a Space Marine Vanguard fleet basically taught me the nuances to using this fleet. Mind you, I haven't even played a Vanguard fleet, but during my time with Imperial Navy, I fought like maybe 3 Space Marine Vanguard fleets, so I think I have a good sense on how this should function. I just don't have the boarding damage.
As you command.
And this could suck, but I have fighters. I gotta remember that. I may not have the starburst generator, but I sure as hell have means to deal with torpedoes some. It still hurt. Oh my god, 110 damage. We just took a big hit there. If that was any indication.
How may I serve?
Well, at least we're grabbing this point behind them.
On the march.
And Lightning Link is about to come back up. Do I plan for a kill maneuver or not?
Yes, my liege.
The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic
Well,
points.
Disruption Bomb I would argue is not a big deal. I'm already basically recharged at full health.
I am the dearest.
So I think I'm good
You
there.
have seized a strategic area.
Don't know if that's a little bit too aggressive, but
Inferior vessels sighted.
we see them. They're boosting. I like the potential here, but let's just disengage right now.
Fully engaged. I serve.
Always that one ship, although this time it's the flagship, mind you.
Reassembling coherence.
I feel like I can win this battle if I go in there.
Energy to weapons array.
I just gotta get my Lightning Link to do the damage necessary.
Is your command
Is kind of the catch right now.
ready to serve?
And you just fight in 9,000 in range since you got perfect aim.
Relocating.
Focus on this one ship and make it pay. And fighters, harass this one cruiser for the follow-up kill. There we are. I gotta be careful. That retribution is in an awful spot for me if it fires its torpedoes.
Shroud strike successful. All power to motive units.
Come on, one more jump.
You have accumulated 75%
Oh, your crew is damaged.
of
You lost some of your
strategic
crew, that's
points.
why. Well, I guess I'm gonna win this one. But I'm leaving myself really dangerously vulnerable here.
Drop point anchors. What is your command?
Take it, Retribution. Take it.
Motive units fully engaged.
Yep. That. It's not the most damage I could have got with the Lightning Link, but it's paying off now. Now, let's finish this off. I think I could just A-move into this. Almost. I kind of forgot the one cruiser that's about to ram my ass if I'm not careful.
Way of death.
It's good damage on the Retribution though, nonetheless. I'm still happy with it. Just gotta get myself turned around so I can finish
You
this
are
off.
close to victory by strategic points.
Sadly, Disruption Bomb I feel like is not really all that useful for you.
Yes, my liege.
I'm afraid to say, since I don't even think I'm feeling the pause on the regeneration. Got more boarding there. No, didn't get it with all my ships though. Uh-oh, voice is breaking. That's an ill omen. Oh, your deck's gone, isn't it?
Frayed ones are feasting.
Eh. Let's just kill anyway for good measure. This match is going to be over once any of the ship dies.
Target locked.
Well, that was fun. I actually enjoyed that quite a bit.
Shroud strike complete. Critical damage levied.
Now, the big question, what did I do right, what did I do wrong? I like to think it was a little in between with the lightning link. It's a bit awkward again because my opponent could just boost on out. And my inertialist drive kind of was not perfect to keep that chain going too. But I enjoyed it. I damn well enjoyed that. I need to play with it more to figure out if that's what I want to do. Ooh, excuse me. Because I feel like with the 3-minute cooldown, the Lightning Link is probably perfect if utilized properly with this fleet. Maybe, well, the transdimensional bolt can also be perfect. It just requires me to practically be on top of them if I want to do that instant damage. Otherwise, I feel like Resurrection Orb can be important for the occasional Boreon I am going to get if I face off against Tyranids or Space Marines. Just transfer the crew from my other ships, and once I start losing ships or losing crew on all my ships, then Resurrection Orb for that type of slow and steady type of route. There's a lot of nuances that I'm going to need to figure out. That's for sure. But I am excited at the possibility. And mind you, I have seen like the Shroud type fleet before, but that's with the Kopej and maybe the Kartoshe? The Kardosh? I don't know how you would pronounce that, I apologize. But the problem with these is the majority of their weaponry is broadside base. Yeah, 180 degrees only on the left and right side. Whereas the Shroud, sure, it has like it only has 800 health, but it's got 270 degrees with weaponry that always hits. I don't need to tell you how valuable that can be for blinding ships. Kartosh, okay. I hope I still pronounced it properly, but thank you for the clarification. Especially if you can take full advantage. Ooh, I completely forgot they have extended range. Not that it's really utilized very effectively or very often, but Shroud Hull can be really useful because it means I can be concealed while using my reload, or even recharging my health. There's really good value in utilizing this. Nonetheless, I think I'm going to call it a night here. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for the raid. That was also a nice treat. I hope you enjoyed what you're seeing there. I do YouTube videos for those who may not know who I am, and I would like to do more Twitch streaming. We'll see how that goes in the future though, mind you. But have a good night everyone.